Hello and welcome to World Talks on TVP World with me, Hashim Kumar. The German Parliament has narrowly approved a motion on Wednesday calling for stricter immigration policies, including rejecting asylum seekers at the country's borders. The proposal, dubbed inhumane by the opposition Left Party, looks to establish permanent border controls, detain those required to leave, and reject people entering from other EU countries, claiming that they are already safe from persecution. Introduced by Friedrich Merz, leader of the Conservative Christian Democrat Union, CDU, the motion is seen as a key part of his push ahead of the February 23rd parliamentary vote. To understand the dynamics of this decision, we are joined by Piotr Andrzejewski. He's an analyst at the Institute for Western Affairs. Hello and welcome back to TVP World, sir.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. It's a pleasure. So there have been demonstrations against this vote outside the CDU party headquarters. What do we know about those? What's behind those?
Well, there's actually this news is quite big. The media in Germany have these screaming headlines that finally, after 75 years of a political consensus among all the democratic parties in the German parliament, there was this idea that we do not make a common cause with the far right. It's one of the staples of the German Republic after the Second World War. And now, after this vote, we have the news are shouting that the firewall, the Brandmauer so-called, or the sanitary cordon, as you want to name it, has finally cracked. It's a motion made by the Friedrich Merz and the Christian Democratic Party on tougher border and asylum rules, passed with the support of the Alternative for Germany. What does it mean? Well, it's a non-binding motion for now. And Merz himself said that the right ideas can be backed by wrong people, and it doesn't make the ideas wrong at the same time. And this is a very, 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 very interesting dynamic, simply because we are in the very middle of the German electoral campaign. In just 3 weeks, there will be elections, and I've seen the polls already to see whether Germans back up this type of voting with the far right or no. And actually, 85% of the German population actually supports the move that CDU has done. And it is possible, it is allowed for a Democratic Party to seek voting support from the far right.
Understood. So that's a big number. 85% support this move. And as you say, we shall see if this translates into votes on polling day. But in the meantime, of course, the left has called this inhumane. What are they talking about?
Well, it's simply because that the restrictions are kind of Trump-like. We have a triumph of Trumpism in Germany right now, and the thing is that Germany wants to introduce very tough border controls, similar to the likes of what already Denmark or Netherlands had done. So already we have this. But the thing is that they want to also incarcerate. They also want to incarcerate people that are in Germany illegally. If they are caught, they are supposed to be incarcerated till the moment of deportation, which means not like now, where they can roam free in Germany. So obviously, for the more left-leaning parties like the Social Democrats, and especially the Greens, because for these parties human rights are very important. For them, it's something that is touching directly into their political identity. It's something that they don't want to move on. They don't want to. Don't want to see introduced in Germany, because it's like playing with fire. Olaf Scholz in the debate in Bundestag said that this is not a game, this is not a poker game, and it can lead into and that Merz should not be a poker player, because this can lead into disastrous consequences.
Understood. Now, you mentioned the level of support for this move. There have been attacks by illegal immigrants in Germany on civilians, unarmed civilians. How much of an influence or impact do you think that those have had on this sentiment?
Well, obviously the impact is growing, because with every incident, an attack perpetrated or fatal attack perpetrated by a person with a migratory background or an asylum seeker in Germany creates this snowball effect. We had Solingen, the attack in Solingen on a police officer. Then in Aschaffenburg, even more shocking, because the 2-year-old was stabbed. And as I said, these attacks are bound to happen again and again. And with each one, there will be the snowball effect. The support for a tougher migration policy will be introduced.
Understood. Now, let's move to the legality of what is being proposed in Germany. There are some questions as to whether this is in line with international law. What do we know about that?
Well, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that the Social Democrats and the Greens will want to go to court, to the European Court of Justice, to see if the new legislation introduced in Germany is in accord with the European law. So we are going to see a very tough legal battle that will directly influence the inner situation in Germany. But as I said before, there are other states that have introduced some tougher border controls. Already, namely Denmark, for example, that is a part of the European Union. What is the point of discontent is this incarceration policy of people who will be or could be deported. So we will see how the legal battle unfolds. It is too early to say for me how the courts would lean to which political side of this conflict.
Understood. So legally speaking, are you saying that the left would like the courts to say, well, you can't incarcerate people who are in the country illegally? Would that satisfy them?
Well, probably yes. Probably yes. Probably we will see the first cases coming soon, when there will be an illegal migrant. Germany will be caught. He will be incarcerated. The other thing is that if the German prison system can actually sustain such an action, if it is sustainable for the German state to actually incarcerate such a huge number of people. Yes, there are more than 3 million people of migratory backgrounds. I don't know how many of them are in Germany illegally, but I can say that this number is substantial. And I'm pretty sure that the German state, the German state system, a prison system, is not going to be able to implement those policies, actually. And it's going to cause several problems. It's a federal state, so with all the 16 regions, the 16 German lands, it's going to be pretty difficult to create a cohesive security policy in regarding of incarcerating those people. So this actually will grow into a time bomb that will explode during the next political term, on the Bundestag term in Germany.
Understood, and it's likely to have an impact across the EU as well. There is a meeting going on in Warsaw today with a number of EU officials to talk about this. So clearly it is a topic of interest across many countries. How do you see this whole argument evolving? Because there's a fine line here to tread, is there not, between human rights and illegal migrants?
Yes, but there is also the European. You mentioned the meeting of European leaders. There's also the European level here, because introducing tougher border controls means it's de facto leaving the Schengen Accords. so the free movement of people within the European Union. And this is one political cost to be said. The other one is that Germany will send migrants to the states where the migrant has crossed the border with the EU. So the border states like Italy or Bulgaria or Spain, for example, putting more pressure on those southern European states, which obviously will be Germany will be faced with political resistance coming from those states. I presume from Italy the most, under Giorgia's Meloni rule right now. So aside from the discussion of human rights versus security, there is this there is a pan-European debate about migration ahead of us, and this is simply going to be throwing more coal into or wood into the oven, and the political fire will burn even hotter simply because of that, and there will be no accord between European states on this issue.
Indeed, sounds like a thorny problem indeed, and we will be watching it closely as it unfolds. Thank you very much for sharing your analysis with our audience. Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye now. And that's all from us in this episode of World Talks. Goodbye.